So we're here in Clovis, California, and we're getting ready to install a shower drain from tile all the way to the far wall. Center is right there. You know, we can put it in. I'll show you what it looks like on the wood that we took out of there, so you can see. That's the guy right there, and so you can see the drain. So it's right center of that metal. So we can go offset a little bit, but the second problem is this is not code. This vent, you can see there's no way to get this drain line, which is the 2-inch, the big one right here, underneath this line. This pipe right here is supposed to be above here. So the bottom of this pipe should be able to turn and go underneath, but you've already got a 90-degree turn down here. And so I'm not sure how we get in there. I mean, we can demo some more stuff back, but if we go back there and try and cut that, we got to go into the next bay. We got to demo that back, and then we got to go underneath this wall. We got to, because we got to drill this out. But once we get to here, we're done, because that is duct in there, so we can't get in that bay. Probably the farthest we could bring it down is into this bay. So anyways, I just wanted to do a video of that. It's not centered at all, or we can put it down here, and you could maybe, I don't know what you want to do down here. Anyways, so taking a video, I'm going to send it to you. So we're in Clovis, California to get the drain in, and we're not real pleased. We're going to a bunch of extra work, and I'm probably going to have to do an extra charge here. But anyways, it's in. This is as close as we can get it. You can see the duct sitting right here. It should be right here on the X, but we can only get it to here because the duct's in the way. And so it's a little off center in here. It's centered between that wall and this wall, but it's just not centered between here. So tile guy will have to get creative with that. And outside of that, you have to go down, demo out sheetrock and move that duct over. So anyways, I'm going to put this block in and set the drain. Outside of that, this installation is done. So we're in Clovis, California. We just finished installing or adding on a sink up here in the master bath. So original conversation, we talked about a lot of things. I think one of the things that slipped was the tub. We never really discussed what was happening. I know he's going to put new surround and whatnot in here, but he's got a company that's coming in to do I believe what it's called is a dustless tile removal. Normally when you do demo in here, it just blows stuff everywhere. So anyways, we got here, tile was still installed on the wall, tile on the floor, and we had a homeowner had a handyman out here and did a lot of the demo for us, which was nice. And of course then we cut the floor. But so we're doing plumbing only. We did do a lot of demo sheetrock, which is fine. We got to get our pipe in there. That's not anybody else's deal. But we're not drywall installers, so we don't reinstall the drywall. So you have to get either your handyman or a drywall guy in here to do that. And then of course framing, the same thing. We won't replace studs. We won't replace floor. We did leave the pieces here. A couple more fit. If your handyman's pretty good. We put this back in because that's where the drain goes. So we blocked it in. This is nice and tight. So same thing there. You'll need perimeter blocking all 4 sides. And I won't explain how to do that. A good handyman, and it seems like you've got one, will know how to do that. You can't really use those pieces. You got a hole in there from the old shower drain that sat over there, but just some 3/4 plywood, and then I would do 2x4 blocking, around the perimeter, just to hold. And you can certainly take these middle pieces out off of the silent floor. Problem is it's glued down, so if you try and peel those back, you could just splinter the top of that cord. So that's the bottom cord down there, and that's the top cord. And if you splinter it, it really takes away from the structure. So that's why we cut it in and you do flat blocks or stand blocks on end 2x4s, and screw them in, and then get your floor back in. So anyway, just a little patching on the floor, no big deal. In the shower area, we got your growy valve in here, and it was missing some grommets. That's supposed to come with rubber grommets here, and here, and here, and here. And so we just siliconed it in, no big deal. You purchased this through Amazon too, so to get a replacement, you certainly can if you want. We'll come out and tear this back out for you, but we called Growy and they said they're missing. So anyways, it's siliconed in. The only time you'd have trouble with it is if with any valve, if you have a problem with this is not the cartridge, this is the test device. So when the cartridge goes in, there'll be gaskets that seal, and that's where the water would. So it's sealed, so if water does drip, it won't go out of the box. It'll still come out. And then of course the box is strapped, and then of course we got the valve strapped all four corners, so that's nice and tight. Then we got your water where we said we would. We tied into your existing PEX. It's the B PEX to the A PEX, which is Uponor, and then tied the cold water back in, shark bite down to here in. And then of course we got your shower heads where we talked about, the one coming out of the ceiling, which is in about, on this wall right here. And then of course one up high here, that's for the handheld sprayer. And then the drain, it's off a little bit. The center line should have been, and I think a previous video it showed it, it should have been like over here. But the picture or the video that I took, you've got a register downstairs that fills this whole bay. So we're as close to it we can get. We're about a ½ inch off of that, the ducting that's down below that serves the register. And so 2-inch line, you can see vents in, came over long sweep 90, and then of course P-traps down there. Then we got this tied back in, the vent coming out through the roof, so it's strapped on the bottom, strapped on the top, and then of course you'd probably want to come back with some spray foam and foam the floor, where it's penetrating right there. And this is just a big kind of a mess in here where they ran this. It's blocked way too far out up top, which is fine, but you can see it holds it off of the wall. It kind of pokes it out to the front, but it'll rock back in. One thing I did notice, which maybe you haven't noticed yet, is this is a 2x6 wall exterior. This is a 2x4 wall, so you can see the offset right there. This whole wall needs to get furred out 2 inches, or 1 3/4, whatever it is. It's about it's 5.5 inch stud down to about 5 1/4 after shrinkage. But this wall needs to get furred out. You can leave it. You certainly can. You take this out, but your tile would come in over and then continue. So that's up to you. Anyways, shower's in. Growy valve, that's provided by the homeowner. All the adapters, the brass fittings, and the Uponor connectors, and the shark bite fitting. That's all and then our piping, of course, that's all ours. And that's yours. That blue line, that's the cold water to the valve. That's the hot water to the valve. Over here, we just put a sanitary, not a sanitary tee, but a long turn. Let me see. It is a combination Y and 8th bin. We just call them the combi. Just because we're coming off of the main stack, the soil pipe, it's 1.5 inches, so we need a new line over here for the new sink. And we ran it over. Second floor doesn't require cleanouts, but you get so many turns in between coming up the wall and then turning and getting into your silent floor, your floor joists underneath, and then getting it up. If you ever get a blockage, you just can't clean it out. So just as a point of courtesy, we got to clean it on that sink, which will clean you straight down into your existing line, which is the white pipe down below, the PVC. All the ABS is ours. We brought it over here and got you an end line clean out here too. So if you get a blockage in this main line going over to there, you can have your drain cleaner snake it in right there. Like I say, it's not required. We didn't have to put it in there, but if it gets blocked up, you've got no way to clean it out, especially since these are both dirty armed overs. Here you can clean this out, come over and turn to here, but you're pretty much stuck after that. Same thing with that. So we've got you over to center. We'd marked it on the wall. I think it was 31 and 73 is what we had. They're not dead center as far as the waters, because these are existing waters that were in the wall. We just moved them over as far as we could, and to get them into the new cabinet area. And I believe the center is probably right about here. And of course you can see our drains off to one side, which is totally fine. That when we come back in, we trap it and we swing it and get it tied back in. But these are your existing waters, hot and cold, the B-PEX. These are brand new. That's Uponor. We tied those in, brought them down, studded it out, so no valves on there yet. That way you can get a nice clean hole, cut it, and then we'll come back and put angle stops on if you have us come back and set finish. And looks like the only thing you need to do up here is you got some wiring to do and whatnot. So that's tied in up in the attic. Over here, the 2 lines that come down the wall up here at 2 sharp bite T's, and then it swings over all Uponor tubing all the way down, ties into these Uponor long turn copper stub outs. And then of course the vent tied back in at 42 above floor, so 36 to top of counter, and then 42 to the vent, and it ties back in, comes in, and it's tied in right there and goes up through the roof. So that's all existing. Stainless steel bands, approved by code, not the no hub bands that don't have the correct outside stainless steel on there. So that's approved by code. Anywhere we used a band, it's approved. Over here we demoed back the other sink and just put a stainless steel band on. So that's just a vent. This was a sink over here, now just a vent going through the roof. And then the water lines, shark bite cap, and of course shark bite cap on the hot side as well. And you'll have to come, I don't know where handyman took a lot of the insulation at, but you'll certainly, before you button these back up, here, if you want to put insulation back on the wall just for sound purposes, because the back side is the office, that's great. This exterior wall, so you probably want to get insulation in there, and of course that wall you want to get it re-insulated, before you do anything. And then contact us, with whatever you want to do with the tub. We weren't clear. I know you said you wanted to put new deck on, a new tile, whatever your new solid surface, whatever you're doing in here, but we didn't contract out to demo this tub, and we also didn't contract out to set the new tub in place at finish. So anyways, that's it. That's the hole we left for you. I think we'll put a piece of plywood down there so nobody stumbles in there and falls. And outside of that, this installation is done.